Welcome, everybody, and here we go, because today we have Real Madrid versus Chelsea in London, and we have AC Milan versus Napoli in Naples. Today is actually going to be the day that two clubs are going to be eliminated. Don't miss this show because it's going to be very interesting. The preview of the quarterfinals of Champions League. Let's get it rolling. Aquí nos encontramos nuevamente en otro programa de fútbol con Bambam.
Dentro del área, golpea Petit, Zidane y gol. Ha marcado Zidane el 1-0 para Francia.
Welcome, everybody, and here we go. This is Football con Bambam, and yes, this is another show. This is a show where we're actually going to be in the preview of the Champions League, the quarterfinal, where today we're actually going to see two decisive spots for the semifinal are going to be actually filled up today, one on each side of the bracket. And we have to remind that one side of the bracket, we have three Italian teams, which is going to be AC Milan, Inter Milan, Naples. And then, of course, in that bracket, it's the only Portuguese team, which is Benfica. Benfica is currently losing 2-0 versus Inter de Milan in the first game, on the away game. They're going to be facing Inter Milan tomorrow, and it's going to be very interesting to see if the Portuguese squad is able to overcome the Italian squad. Now, today is going to be very interesting because they're going to play in Naples, and we have to remind you that Napoli is actually the leader of La Liga Calcio in Italy. They're actually overwhelmingly in the lead. They're over 13 points ahead in the league. They've lost the last two matches against AC Milan, one in the league 4-0, and then 1-0 in the away game of this Champions League. However, they're playing at home. They're playing with inspiration. They're playing with their people, and they're going to try to see if they can overcome and make it a comeback over AC Milan. A lot of people are not counting on AC Milan out of this game, but a lot of people are, because initially when we saw that it started here, Naples was the favorite to win this matchup. But we saw how AC Milan has definitely stepped up his game in these last couple of weeks and causing the first victory, obviously playing at home. We'll see how they could do it as an away game. So we will start with that starting 11 to see how these two squads are matching up before in the match today. And we see a Naples with a 4-3-3 formation. And it's going to start with Alex Meret as a goalkeeper, Giovanni Di Lorenzo, Amir Rahimi, Juan Jesus, and Mario Rui as the defenders. Tanguy and Ndombele. We have Stanislav Lobotka, Pietro Zielinski as the midfielder. And then we have Matteo Politano, Victor Osimhen, and Kivcha Kvaratskhelia. That's how it is. It is pretty much pronounced. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't chew up his last name too much, but it is a mouthful. That's actually the starting 11 for Naples. And let's go with AC Milan, because AC Milan is coming a little bit today, and they're starting with their typical formation, which is 4-2-3-1. And we're going to see that Mike Maignan is actually the goalkeeper. Teo Hernandez, Fikayo Tomori, Simon Kajer, David Calabria is actually the defenders. Sandro Tonali, Rede Krunic is actually the mid-contention. Rafael Leao, Ismael Benacer, which Benacer was the one who scored the only goal in the away game, and Brahim Diaz are the midfielders of the squad, and Oliver Giroud is actually the Frenchman, is going to be their main striker in this game. So this game is going to be very interesting. We're going to keep an eye on this. We're going to actually tell the outcome on the post matchup when we record the post matchup of this game. We got to say that AC Milan is doing a phenomenal job, and my money per se, I think AC Milan is going to withstand and win this match and be able to go on the semifinals. My money is with AC Milan in this moment. I know Naples is the favorite team on a lot of people, but I still think that AC Milan is doing a phenomenal job in this Champions League, especially Teo Hernandez, especially Brahim Diaz. And we can't count out how Ismael Benacer is actually stepping up. And Rafael Leao, we know what great quality this young man has. So we have to continue to see. And of course, Oliver Giroud is actually their main striker from the French national team, so we know about him. But then again, we have to say that Kipchia and Victor Osimhen is actually the two main stars for Naples. So can they do it on the comeback? We'll see after the match, and we'll see in this game. But now let's pass a little bit of going towards what's going to happen in London. And it's that Chelsea is facing Real Madrid. We can tell you that in the away game, Real Madrid won the match 2-0 over Chelsea, and Real Madrid dominated abruptly this match. It's not expected to be the same way today, or at least that's not what Frank Lampard has designed this team to be able to do, because they did a couple changes. Some of them because they're forced to, some of them is just looking for a different strategy in the game. Some of the flaws that he saw in the first matchup, he's trying to prevent them on this second matchup. So what we'll do is we'll actually start reading a little bit about what Real Madrid formed, and then we'll talk a little bit about the changes and how Frank Lampard is stepping up in this game. And what we saw in Real Madrid is the famous 4-3-3 that Real Madrid has presented most of the year today, up to today. But the starting 11 is the same 11 that won 4-0 against Barcelona in the second leg of the Cup of Kings, and eliminated Barcelona from that tournament of the Cup of Kings, and won 2-0 against Chelsea in the away game. So the starting 11 is the following: Thibaut Courtois as a goalkeeper, Eduardo Camavinga, David Alaba, Eder Militao, and Dani Carvajal as their defenders, Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, Federico Valverde as the midfielder, and Vinicius Jr., Karim Benzema, and Rodrigo Goes as your strikers. So how we're seeing Chelsea in this moment, how did Lampard look at this game today? Well, before mentioning the squad, we have to remind that Ben Chilwell was actually with a red card out of the game, and we saw Koulibaly had to leave the game due to injury and has not recovered to be able to be 100% in this game. That has caused Frank Lampard to be able to bring two replacement inside, one defender, relocate the defender's position, and then bring one midfielder who is slash defender to replace Ben Chilwell. So the team started as following. We have Kepa as a goalkeeper, Trevin Chalobah and Thiago Silva, Wesley Fofana as the defenders, Reece James, N'Golo Kante, Enzo Fernandez, Mateo Kovacic, and Marc Cucurella as the midfielder, Conor Gallagher and Kai Havertz as their striker. Two of the things in the strikers that Frank Lampard has determined to do is that Conor Gallagher and Kai Havertz are the two starting strikers. We can remind you that the away game it was Joao Felix and Sterling actually were the starting strikers. And in that moment, Frank Lampard was looking that with their 5 midfielder, 3 defenders, we're going to be able to provide a little bit more protection towards the midfielder and ball control, and be able to go with the velocity or the speed of Joao Felix and Sterling to be able to cause problems to Real Madrid. However, that did not function well, because Real Madrid was capable to neutralize 2 of their key engines, which is Mateo Kovacic and Enzo Fernandez. We saw how Luka Modric and Toni Kroos was always on top of these 2 players, not allowing them to be able to feel comfortable or rotate with the ball and be able to create plays, which is what Chelsea needs in order to enhance and create successfully some of their attacks. However, this did allow N'Golo Kante to be a little bit more free, and we saw how N'Golo Kante created 2 massive plays. One of them was a one-on-one of Joao Felix attacking against Courtois, and we saw Eder Militao coming back, and we explained on the previous match how Joao Felix did this mistakes with the second touch of the ball in order that gave the opportunity to Eder Militao come back, gather back to him, and to be able to put it uncomfortable and easier for Courtois to stop that attack. Now, that's something that Real Madrid is going to try to achieve today, this game also today. They're going to have to do it successfully if they don't want to feel the wrath from Edson Fernandez and Mateo Kovacic. One of the things that we did see, that we're going to see today, that we didn't see before, is they brought back Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher, even though they have him as I think that he's more in a position like a 10. They have him as a striker, but behind Kai Havertz. I think right now what Lampard is playing in reality is a 3-6-1, but in this case they have it as a formation 3-5-1-1. And the intention for this is to try to avoid what I just mentioned about Mateo Kovacic and Enzo Fernandez being trapped by Toni Kroos and Luka Modric. They have another option now. They have N'Golo Kante and Conor Gallagher. So that's what they're trying to achieve in this moment. And of course, Reece James and Marc Cucurella are going to try to be seeing if they can put a little bit of difficulty between Eduardo Camavinga and Dani Carvajal. We know that Reece James was successful in the away game against Eduardo Camavinga, always winning the back and made a nightmare. Eduardo Camavinga must have had nightmares with Reece James. However, we're seeing how Ancelotti really liked what he saw in the matchup and probably corrected a couple mistakes. And maybe Eduardo Camavinga, now that they have seen Reece James, is able to withstand that attack from Chelsea. We'll see that today. However, one interesting matchup is going to be Vinicius Jr. versus Reece James. We saw how last time Wesley Fofana, which is not currently on the right-hand side of the defense today because of Koulibaly, Trevor Chalobah has to be able to take that position. So Reece James and Trevor are going to have to stop Vinicius Jr. We saw how Vinicius caused that Wesley Fofana had a yellow card in the beginning of the game, making it uncomfortable, and Reece James having to be forced to be dealing with the wreck of Vinicius Jr. and Vinicius Jr. overwhelmed both of them consistently in the game. So Vinicius, we know he is a very special player, and if he's today showing off the way that he's been these last couple of weeks, he's going to be almost unstoppable back there. So it's going to be very interesting how Reece James and Trevor coordinate between each other to be able to stop the attack, ferocious attack from Vinicius Jr. Now let's talk about the right-hand side, and now we have Cucurella and Wesley Fofana having to deal with Federico Valverde and Rodrigo Goes. We have to mind you that Rodrigo Goes has been as lethal as Vinicius Jr. sometimes in the attack. We saw how Koulibaly had a big momentum on the away game, stopping some of these massive attacks between Karim Benzema, Vinicius, and Rodrigo. And today he's not there. So Fofana is going to have to step up and help Thiago Silva, which we know Thiago Silva, because of his experience, he knows how to stand himself on the defense. However, I don't know if he's going to be able to withstand this ferocious attack from Real Madrid consistently, especially if Real Madrid maintains control and possession as they did in the away game. So it's going to be very interesting to see these matchups. We know that Cucurella was the causing why Ben Chilwell is actually having the red card. Once he came inside, he lost his mark against Rodrigo Goes. Rodrigo Goes got his back, forced Ben Chilwell to pull his shirt and cause a foul, getting a red card directly on the matchup and losing the opportunity to be here today. However, Cucurella also did the corner kick, forced the corner kick. The Real Madrid gave the second goal for Real Madrid from Marco Asensio. So Cucurella today has a rematch to be able to prove himself that he's capable of covering and replacing Ben Chilwell on a day like today, because it's not going to be easy. And of course, the pressure is on Chelsea that they need to produce goals. If they start with an early goal, it's going to be a massive day for them and a great feeling for them. However, as time period goes up, if Real Madrid is capable to score, or if Real Madrid is withstanding the score on a tie 0-0, of course, you're going to see Chelsea getting more and more desperate. We have to remind a little bit of historical. These two clubs match, even though they're different players, but they match last Champions League also as part of one of the matchups. And Real Madrid beat Chelsea 3-1 in London. They went to Madrid and Chelsea began the game winning 3-0, and then Madrid had to come back and score 2 goals, losing the game 3-2, but winning in the aggregate and be able to eliminate Chelsea. So we know already that there's 90 minutes left on the game. We don't know who's won this game yet. It's going to be a very interesting game. I wanted to bring you guys what's the starting 11, a little bit of the idea. I think AC Milan is going to win the match 2-1. I think over here, Real Madrid is going to be hard to stop from making goals. I think this game might be a tie or 2-1. Real Madrid winning, or a tie of 2-2. We have to mention that Chelsea was unable to score in the previous 4 games before they matched with Real Madrid. They were not able to score against Real Madrid. However, this weekend, they finally scored their first goal, but they lost the game 2-1, and they're matching Real Madrid. But that's positive notes for Chelsea that they finally found the goal. So will they be able to step up at home and show their crowd and give them a great comeback as Real Madrid did the previous Champions League. We'll see today. I think everybody and their money is on Real Madrid winning today. However, until the final whistle's not blown, or until there's a saying that said, until the fat lady doesn't sing, the game is not over. There we go, my friends. This is Football con Bambam. I hope you enjoy the preview. So until next time, hope you enjoy the show. Ciao!